Yes.
Happy Saturday, everyone. We're
Sunday.
almost. Oh, Sunday. Oh my gosh. Happy Sunday, everyone. Take two. Well, it's because I did this last week without you, and
Yes.
but the time before that we were on a Saturday. So I'm just all mixed up. I don't know. I don't know where I am. We were just having so much fun chatting about your trip to Paris. We almost didn't start
Forgot.
the broadcast. We don't need anyone else. We're just going to
No.
do this between ourselves. All right, I'm gonna say hi to folks in the chat as we get warmed up here. Tawana, hello, you are first. Welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. King has a request to please bring back
Oh,
Happily Ever After. I'm feeling you. I don't have any hard evidence, but I keep hearing rumors that the current show will end with the 50th anniversary, and that
that makes sense.
it would definitely make sense, even though the show didn't really reference the 50th anniversary in
Yeah.
any meaningful way. It would be good for it to go away. And our friend Michael, of course, is very ready to go. Hello, Michael. Good to see you. Blossom and Terry in Derek's Corner. Welcome.
Hello.
And Wiser has the question that's on everyone's lips. How was Carly's trip to Paris? And we are definitely going to get into that just as soon as we start recording here. We've got a double digits of people here, so why don't we kick this thing off? Oh, you know what? I am not being a good host. I forgot to put our little banner up, and we can't do this
No.
without the banner. Now it's official. Boom. Welcome to episode 150. And we are rolling in 3, 2, 1.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 150 of the Attractions Podcast. I'm Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we are back together again to
Yay!
talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. If you were unlucky enough to tune in last week, you saw and heard me all by my lonesome, but Carly, thank goodness, is back and had an amazing time in Disneyland Paris. So first of all, tell us about your trip, and specifically tell us a little bit about Avengers Campus in Walt Disney Studios Paris. What's it like firsthand?
Wow. I mean, so I was at Disneyland Paris. My last trip was right before COVID shut down. So that was the last time I was there. Excited to be back, specifically for Avengers Campus. And it was amazing. I have spent a lot of time at Disneyland, and their Avengers Campus to me is just It's pretty bare. There's so much sunshine. There's so much cement. There's nowhere to sit. You can't really experience the land.
It's not a place to relax. They want you to get in, buy something, do a ride, and get out. Yeah.
Right. And so my most surprising thing with Disneyland Paris, surprising for me, is we spent hours in the land each day, which I never would have thought had happened. There are so many places you could just sit. One of my favorites was the Super Diner, and it is literally set up like a diner with bar stools and booths, and it's amazing. And they have wine, so we would just get like a glass of wine and sit and relax. And it's, why don't we have that?
That sounds really civilized.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds great. In terms of the attractions, the Web Slingers is pretty much exactly the same, just en français, right?
Right. So they just swapped out the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at the end, but otherwise it's exactly the same. Tom Holland speaks in French. There's the overdub. Flight Force. I loved it. So that's the reimagining of the Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith. I will say it is just as jerky as I remembered before. So if you are not used to getting your head pounded, it's the same exact thing, but it is worth it going through the queue. So it is the first audio animatronic in Walt Disney Studio Park. It's Iron Man, and it's the first Iron Man audio animatronic. And the pre-show is amazing and has all these little Easter eggs. They actually reference the Disney Wish, the new cruise ship. They go to Rocket, who is at Mission Breakout in California Adventure Park. That was my favorite part. And I went through the queue a few times and actually one time stayed to watch the entire loop. And it is amazing. Even as I'm a casual Marvel fan. It is amazing. And I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, that's really cool. They're tying the whole Disney theme park Marvel universe together that way.
It was awesome. We stayed at the Hotel New York, the Art of Marvel. So I feel like that hotel was incredible. I will say I've stayed at all the domestic Disney resorts. This is next level. It is luxury. They treat it as luxury. The cast members are so nice. The property is stunning, and the Marvel theme is just kind of skillfully woven throughout to where it's still upscale. It's not craziness in your face. It's Marvel in the form of art galleries. So
yeah, I've seen some video walkthroughs in it, and it looks subtle. If you can say anything involving Disney and Marvel is subtle, it looks subtle.
Exactly. I feel like if you are a Marvel fan, now is the time to go to Disneyland Paris. Splurge one night and stay at the Hotel Marvel, do Avengers Campus during the day, and yeah, you have to do it. And another interesting thing to note is Disneyland Paris and Walt Disney Studio Park was at capacity on both of our days, but this is not capacity in US terms. This is like most rides were 20 to 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It didn't feel like capacity at all. And my usual range of, reference for going to Disneyland Paris is in the off season. So this is my first time being there in the summer. I would gladly welcome their idea of capacity.
Right.
US parks. We barely waited for anything. Even if I was getting a bottle of water, maybe one person in front of us.
And now I saw they were using a system to limit access to Avengers Campus. Were you able to get in and out of that area?
So I have to say, the cast members, I don't know how they pulled this off being the opening week. It was seamless. Every single thing was seamless. Getting into the land in the app, there is a wait time. And it was always quoted at 30 minutes, but we'd walk in probably at least a dozen times because we'd go in and out. I never waited. We never waited. So I think they just keep that up there maybe to discourage people from all flooding there at one time. But it was one of the most effortless land openings ever, which usually you wouldn't expect that for Disneyland Paris because they're not exactly known as being the most organized.
That's a big difference from the opening days of Avengers Campus in Anaheim.
Exactly. So I was thinking about those hour-long waits. Not here. Even when we got food, we ate at one afternoon. We went to Stark Factory. Didn't wait at all. There was a ton of cashiers ready to go. The diner didn't wait at all. So I don't know how they have pulled it off, but they did. So it is amazing. I will say it is hands down better than Anaheim. The layout, if you're familiar with walking through Avengers Campus at Disneyland Anaheim, the layout doesn't work. There's a lot of bottlenecking. At Paris, they kind of created almost, I would say, like a center courtyard, but it's not really a courtyard, just a wide open space. And you could see the Quinjet landing up top. You could see where Spider-Man kind of parkours down. And you can catch all the character interactions without missing anything because they just made this massive open space.
Do they have the flying animatronic Spider-Man?
No. So they don't have him, but he is hooked up to the little bungee thing and he jumps down the wall. He scales down it. But honestly, I didn't miss it because you can barely see that at California Adventure because you're looking up at the piercing sun. You're in the middle of a tiny walkway and it just didn't make any sense the way they did that.
Yeah. It doesn't help crowd flow any there.
No. So they nailed it. If you can get there, get there. There's so many restaurants, at Disney California Adventure. You really only have Pim Kitchen and, like Shawarma Palace and the Terror Trees, which are carts. But here you have 3 full-blown restaurants plus food trucks. Yeah.
For the French really know their food. That's one thing they do take care of.
And I will say Stark Factory has multiple dining rooms and you don't have to be dining in there to sit. So it was really nice. We would grab like a bottle of water or a wine,
Oh,
relax.
shade.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that Anaheim doesn't have.
I know, because it's if you've
Nowhere to
ever
hide.
right, if you've ever drank in Avengers Campus at Disneyland Anaheim, it is boiling outside. You maybe will have one drink and then you're like, I have to leave because you're just pelted with the sunshine. So
Sure.
they nailed it. Yeah, I have to say, amazing.
Well, I'm so glad that you had an amazing trip. I always said if I go back to France, I will spend more time in Paris, and less time in Disneyland Paris.
Yeah.
But hearing about some of the new stuff makes me want to at least maybe spend one night on property.
I think so. I will say we did one night on property, and then one night, my first time ever staying off property, I found a hotel. It was blew my mind. It was like $100. It was borderline like a luxury hotel, boutique hotel. So their idea of budget is just a little bit different than in America, which I would have spent that and gotten a terrible Motel 6.
Yeah, we stayed in Val de Europe, which is the little town right near there. And the only bad thing about it was a great hotel for a very reasonable price. The only scary thing was the shuttle bus on the way home, where we had like 72 people shoved into a van made for 20.
Well,
that was an experience.
Yes, we did Uber and it was $10.
There wasn't Uber last time I was there, and that would make a big difference. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Get there.
Well, obviously you had the much more exciting week than I did, but I did have one cool thing happen this week that I want to share, and that is I got to go on opening day and test MagicBand Plus. I got to go buy one on opening day and use it around Disney's Hollywood Studios. We've talked about MagicBand Plus before. Does everything that the familiar MagicBands do, plus more, including take more money out of your pocket.
Yes.
They cost $35 for the basic ones that no one really wants, and they cost $45 for the cool ones like this one. This was the retro logo one that I like the best.
I like that.
And I got lucky. On opening day, I did not rope drop the MagicBand Pluses, but by 11 a.m. Everything was still in stock. But I actually wound up getting one of the very last ones of these, and I think maybe you can order them online. They're coming back in stock, but at least on opening day, they sold out of that one. I had a very mixed experience. You can read all about it on our website. The good thing is that I really enjoyed the Batu Bounty Hunter game that they've got in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It's similar to the stuff that you do with the datapad currently, but the addition of the vibrating wristband kind of added a new element, and there's this cool animated door that you get to interact with. They've added to the land, so I thought that was a plus. The Fab 50 statue thing didn't really do a lot for me. I didn't find it really responsive, and a lot of the reactions were not that impressive. And I haven't gotten a chance to use it personally with the fireworks yet.
We've seen video though, so it looks like your wrist is lighting up.
Yeah. The one big piece of advice, if you are interested in doing this, one, order it in advance. Go to shopdisney.com and get this all set up and taken care of before you show up at the park, because it was a process buying it, pairing it, and you've got to update the software. And mine had a dead battery out of the box.
I saw
make sure you bring a battery with a USB plug. It does come with a charging cord, but it doesn't have a plug for a wall. So you're going to need some sort of USB outlet or battery pack, and have lowered expectations. Honestly, if you're an annual pass holder and you're a local and a regular, you need something new to do in the parks, go for it. But if you are a visitor on a short trip and you've got a limited budget, I'd rather buy 3 days worth of Genie Plus than one of these. That's my call. But these are my first impressions. I got to do one day at Hollywood Studios and one day at Epcot, and I'll go back and play with them some more. But you can read those first impressions on our website if if you're interested.
Right. I feel like they really did an injustice by calling it Magic Band Plus. It should have been called Interactive, I don't know, something, because you get the access to the Magic Band basic stuff on your phone with Magic Mobile.
Mhm.
But if interacting with the statues and the nighttime spectaculars are cool to you, like a kid might like that, I get it. But there is no reason an entire family of 4, 5, 6 people need one of these. So I
No,
think the only reason they called it this is that so families think, oh, this is the new Magic Band. I need to buy everyone.
especially since I would understand if this thing was self-contained and it allowed you to do things without needing to pull out your phone. If this was an alternative to
Right.
looking at your phone screen, that would be one thing I could see. But this thing has to pair with your phone through Bluetooth. You have to have that Play Disney app. You're constantly going back and forth, especially if you're doing the Batu game or the statue game. So you're using instead of just looking at one device, you're now really looking at two devices, one on your wrist and one in your hand.
Right.
So that's not solving that problem. And everything that this thing does could have been just added to the Play Disney and the My Disney Experience app. Your phone can vibrate, your phone can flash colors.
So
So
it's
there's
sort of
nothing that these games are doing
yeah.
that couldn't have already been done through your
Right.
phone.
Like if you buy like an add-on pack to Sims, sort of, right? Like kind of like
Exactly.
okay.
I would have been much happier with an in-app purchase for more
Mhm.
data pad games that
Right.
use the haptics of your phone, that use the motion, because every phone now has a motion sensor in it, and I would be much happier to spend $5, on an in-app purchase for more games versus $45 for a piece of hardware that I've now got to constantly remember to keep charged. You can't just
Right.
like my Magic Band. I'm used to just throwing it in my glove compartment in my car, and it's always
Yes.
there, and it's always ready to go. And I've got ones that are 5 years old and still work perfectly well. Now I've got to constantly remember to keep this on a charger and grab it before I go to the park. So
Right.
anyway, enough griping.
Yes.
I think I think I've kvetched enough. Anyway, without further ado, let us just jump right into the news
Yes.
in the queue. Okay, first up, Believe Sea of Dreams nighttime show is going to premiere at Tokyo Disney Sea in 2022. And it's going to combine classic Disney characters with Pixar characters on the waterfront near the Mediterranean Harbor Hotel, Miracosta. And it is going to be impressive because everything that the Oriental Land Company does is impressive.
Right. And this is also going to take advantage of the location on the harbor. And they're going to have these large boats kind of gliding across the water. There's
Mhm.
going to be lasers, searchlight illuminations. This sounds amazing and something I wish we had here.
Absolutely. They've it, the thing about Disney Sea is they'll put together a great show like Fantasmic. They had their version of Fantasmic, and they'll run it for 5 years or maybe a decade or less, and then they will put on an entirely new show that is just as expensive. This one is budgeted at $70 million.
Yes.
And whereas here we'll run a parade for 30 years, we'll run a show for 40 years, upgrade the projectors every couple decades. There they come up with these from scratch, and they are always spectacular. So this one's going to include Peter Pan and Wendy, Aladdin, Rapunzel, Miguel from Coco, Ariel, The Little Mermaid, Moana, and Elsa from Frozen. It's a 30-minute show, so it's a long show.
That's wild.
And we're going to see it later in this year, starting November 11th, 2022. So right around the corner. And in addition, they are also finally updating their version of PhilharMagic. to include the Coco segment, Remember Me, which we got here in the States.
Yep.
And that kicks off on September 15th, 2022.
I guess I'm going to Tokyo next.
Can you pack me in your luggage?
Yes.
If you want more information about this, check out tokyodisneyresort.jp. Little Disney news closer to home. Victoria and Albert's restaurant has finally reopened at the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. This, of course, is the crown jewel of Disney dining. They have reimagined the interior. It is more luxurious than ever, and I am about to sneeze, so pardon me.
Yes.
I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna mute so I can blow my nose while Carly continues.
So the really cool thing about the refurbishment, it's super modern, super luxurious, but it has been reimagined and it's inspired by the Queen Victoria's Jubilee celebration. So that's going on overseas. That's the 75th anniversary. So there's a lot of blues, muted gem tones. It looks amazing. And of course, you can expect that the food is going to be incredible, as it has ever been. I want to go here. It is expensive, but it is one of those kind of splurge-worthy meals you'll be doing, maybe once every 10 years, but it earns their AAA 5 Diamond Award. And we can continue to probably see that again in years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I would not be surprised. They just started the Michelin Guide here in Florida, and it was not eligible because it was closed still due to COVID. But I would not be surprised if when the next one it gets a diamond a Michelin star or 2.
Right.
It has been. I've only eaten there. I can count on one hand how many times I've eaten there, but every time it has been one of the best meals of my life. I know some of my friends from Touring Plans were there on opening night, and it looks like they were doing a special chef's tasting menu out in the main dining room for the reopening that was running about, I think, $375 per person before the wine pairing. But I'm sure worth every penny because I saw that it had A5 Miyazaki Wagyu beef, which that alone can cost you hundreds of dollars. Just course after course of the most spectacular thing. I got to say, my personal favorite thing about Victoria and Albert's, the coffee service at the end.
Yes.
They bring out this creation, this thing like something out of a mad scientist laboratory, which they light a fire under it. It boils and steams and just creates the absolute perfect cup of coffee to finish the meal.
Yes. I think I also saw that there's now a water sommelier. So you can do water pairings with each course. And the waters, I saw someone post, they go for between like $7 and $20. So if you love staying hydrated, I think it could be kind of cool to do that. I mean, I'm interested. I love water. So.
And of course, if you like something a little stronger than water, Israel Perez has been there for 20 years as their sommelier, and they've also introduced some zero proof cocktails with pairings for the different dishes. So if you don't drink alcohol, but you want something a little tastier than water, that's an option too. Of course, they've also reopened the private Queen Victoria dining room. And the chef's table option, which is like this intimate experience. I did this once, and oh my gosh, being you and 5 people in that room with the chef watching it all happen. That's the kind of thing you got to book in advance, of course. Right now, I think they're only doing advanced reservations 60 days ahead of time. So you got to jump on DisneyWorld.com right on the day of, because these seats book up. I'm thinking the next big birthday or anniversary, I gotta do this. Gotta save up my pennies.
Yes,
because it's worth it. All right. Boy, now I'm hungry. Well, now for something completely different. In the worst kept secret in theme park Halloween events, the Weeknd, that's weekend without the E, is bringing his After Hours Nightmare to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios in both Orlando and Hollywood. This is his first of a kind collaboration with the theme parks, bringing his epic videos and album, which has a very strong horror theme, to life as a haunted house or haunted maze inside both events.
Yes, so they've officially retired the term maze as of yesterday.
Yes, can't use mazes anymore in
I have
Hollywood.
to keep reminding myself.
Yeah.
This looks really cool, and he said that he's always dreamed of having a house at Universal and collaborating with them. So this should be interesting. And each room is going to be kind of music fueled, but there's going to be grotesque figures. It's kind of ambiguous right now. There's not really a storyline that they've announced. So it's kind of leaving it open, but I have a feeling it's going to be definitely music driven, horror driven, thrills driven, but we'll see pretty soon.
All right, I'll show my age. I was not really aware of this artist until he showed up on the Super Bowl. I guess that's where old people like me find out about new musical acts, is on the Super Bowl. But I was really intrigued by his visual style. Obviously there's a lot of horror imagery in his music, and especially his music videos. And I guess this album After Hours, you can look up on YouTube. People have assembled all the different clips in, it not necessarily a linear narrative, but there's definitely a storyline going on.
Right.
There's a strong theme connecting it all, and it's going to be really interesting. I know he's collaborating with both John Murdy out in Hollywood and Charles Gray, who's show director I know here at Universal. I know they're all collaborating together to create, bring these videos to life, and I'm really excited. I'm gonna definitely sit down on YouTube and do my research.
Yes, I too do not listen to The Weeknd, but I will be listening to this album to prepare. And then also, I think interesting. So it's Midsummer Scream, and John Murdy announced that Universal Monsters Legends Collide will be. House at Orlando will be the opening of the story, and the house in Hollywood will be the second part. So there's a lot of really cool Horror Nights news this past week.
That is very interesting. Yes. So there, and we also had, we do not mention in this article, but there was also a big leak this week. There's always a leak for Halloween Horror Nights, and it almost always comes out of merchandising or sponsorship, or a partnership with some sort of retail. This time it looks like it was a T-shirt that claims to reveal the names of all of the haunted houses and scare so you can definitely find that on social media, and take that for what it's worth. I know that we have a confirmation of a scarecrow haunted house for Halloween in California, but not that was not an announcement for Orlando. So HalloweenHorrorNights.com or UniversalOrlando.com or UniversalHollywood.com if you want more information about all of this. And all those tickets and frequent fear passes and stuff are on sale now. So start planning your September right now.
I'm ready.
So speaking of the complete opposite event at Universal Orlando, we also got some confirmation on the Christian music festival Rock the Universe, which we now know is definitely coming back from January 27th through the 29th of 2023.
Yes, this is really cool. They definitely get some heavy hitters if you're into the Christian music world, Toby Mac, those kind of A-list levels. So it's exciting that it's going to be back. And then, of course, it takes place across Universal stages. And one of them, the Music Plaza stage and the Hollywood stage. Those are awesome places to watch concerts.
Yeah, absolutely. They have those concerts. The event kicks off at 4 p.m. on Friday, January 27th. They've not announced specifically which acts, but they've had, if you are into Christian music, and I think Switchfoot, Jars of Clay, Casting Crowns, a lot of big names in that genre show up for this. They perform Friday night and Saturday night, and then they do a worship service on Sunday morning. And you can buy the tickets later this year at rocktheuniverse.com. There's a fan zone with Coca-Cola. I've actually been to this event. I worked it many years ago as an employee, and then I went back as a guest just the last time they did it before COVID. And if this is your genre of music, it's a really great time. Plus they keep a lot of the rides open as well. So
yes. So what's better than seeing your favorite band with Rip Rocket going behind it?
exactly. And I know some years they activate secret hidden tracks on Rocket for Christian music. So that's a bonus. I always thought it was interesting the first few years. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter was not open during the Rock the Universe events because it was still controversial among and now it's gotten to the point where they just keep it open because everyone wants to go. All right. And finally, one other Universal Studios event, but this one back over in Japan. They are doing a limited time Jujutsu Kaisen event at USJ that's going to include an exclusive show, themed ride, and more, all based on the blockbuster anime franchise. And this is starting in September.
Yes, this looks really cool. I'm particularly interested in the attraction overlay because who doesn't love a good overlay? And I think that just goes to show you how popular this is over there.
Mm-hmm. So please forgive me as I completely ruin the pronunciation of all of the Japanese names, but Jujutsu Kaisen, the real 4D, sounds like it's going to go into the 4D theater where they also do Shrek, and I think they have a Sesame Street show, and it's going to be a cinematic experience, which is an exclusive original episode of the hit show. It's going to follow familiar characters like Yuji, Megumi, Nobara, as they venture to Osaka to investigate and fight an evil curse infecting the Jujutsu High School Osaka branch, which just happens to be located at Universal Studios Japan. And you're going to get to experience 4D effects like vibrations and water sprays that will immerse you in the world of the show. So I think if you're a fan of it, that's really cool. And the other big draw is the Hollywood Dream, which is getting a takeover.
That's really cool. So that's the roller coaster overlay I mentioned, and it's going to be getting a little makeover to celebrate this Jujutsu Kaisen collaboration. And of course, you're going to be able to pick a song. It is just like at Universal Orlando, where you can go in and pick your favorite track.
Yeah, and for this event, the tracks are going to include the opening theme song from the show, Kai Kai Kitan by Eve. So this is kicking off on September 16th. It's going to run all the way through July 2nd of 2023. So you've got better part of a year. But the Hollywood Dream is going to be September 16th through only January 18th, 2023. So you've just kind of got a few months for that one. All right, and if you want more information about Jujutsu Kaisen or anything about USJ, you can find them on our website at attractionsmagazine.com. There's a link in the article. And speaking of something that is usually associated with Universal, at this time not, Harry Potter, a Forbidden Forest experience is going to make a U.S. debut. For the first time, you will be able to experience an immersive Harry Potter attraction outside of a Universal theme park in the United States. This is something that we saw at the UK studio tour, and now it is going to be here in America starting in October of 2022.
Yes, this is kind of under the similar vein of what we've been seeing pop up in the US of all these kind of light and nightscapes. So it's in a very
Mhm.
immersive thing. If you're familiar with the Van Gogh experience, it's basically build outs of room that heavily rely on special effects and light to create that kind of immersive atmosphere.
Yeah. So this one is going to be a nighttime experience, and it's going to take place outdoors. This is happening in Leesburg, Virginia, which is kind of a suburb of Washington, D.C. And you are going to walk through this outdoor forest area with, officially licensed uh, sculptures, statues. I'm not sure if some of these are maybe animatronic, but they will be with lights and special effects, including hippogriffs, centaurs, unicorns, and my favorite, pygmy puffs. Um, so yeah, you're going to be able to walk through this path. There's it looks like some owls. I think there's a flying car, and it looks like I'm not sure if this is a photo op or maybe a live theatrical demonstration, but two wizards dueling with kind of magical beams going in between them as a lighting effect. So
Yes.
yeah, I guess you're going to be able to discover moments from the films inside the Forbidden Forest and even practice casting spells.
Right. This is really cool. And so you're going to be finding a themed village where at the end of the trail, you can, of course, indulge in Harry Potter themed food and drink. So I'm assuming we can maybe see some butterbeer, hopefully.
Yes, and definitely some fish and chips
Yep.
served wrapped up in an issue of the Daily Prophet. Yeah, and of course there will be merchandise to take home. So this is going to start on October 29th. You can buy tickets starting on July 28th, and it's going to run, looks like 7 days a week from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. The experience takes about an hour to an hour and a half. And ticket prices are going to start at $36 for adults and $25 for kids. Kids under 5 are going to be free. So not too expensive
No.
if
Yeah.
this is well done. So if you want more information about this, you're going to go to hpforbiddenforestexperience.com. And I am excited, if not to be able to check this out myself, to see some video of how this turns out, because
Right.
really interesting to see more people outside of Universal. This is still created by Warner Brothers,
Right.
and it looks like they teamed up with Thinkwell. And
Oh, wow.
Thinkwell has obviously
Yeah.
done a lot of stuff over the years with Universal and other big theme parks. So it should be top quality, and
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see how it is.
The price point surprised me the most. So we shall see.
Yes.
Pretty.
And if you're not going to make it out to Virginia, maybe you can stop in Chicago, where Harry Potter Magic at Play is going to make its worldwide debut on November 11th.
Yes. So we have more Harry Potter. This is created again with Warner Brothers themed entertainment in partnership with Superfly X, and it is going to be the first of its kind interactive experience that will allow fans of all ages to engage with 30,000 square feet of hands-on magical installations. So that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. So this one, rather than an outdoor walkthrough, this is kind of like an indoor, um, experience, immersive, where you are going to be able to interact with sets and games. You're going to start out at 4 Privet Drive in the Dursleys' living room. And then you're somehow going to get on a boat and cross the Great Lake to Hogwarts. Whether this is done through, I don't know, special effects or virtual reality, I'm not entirely sure. But once you're there, you can attend classes, including the Charms class. Get to master Wingardium Leviosa. Go to the Potions class, Defensive Against the Dark Arts class, and even practice Quidditch. So yeah, this sounds really interesting. How they're going to pull all this off, I'm not entirely sure.
It's a lot.
But and of course, you will get to exit through a gift shop.
Of course. And there will be butterbeer. That is
Yes, they
confirmed with this one.
yes, they guarantee butterbeer. And you are even going to be able to send word home about this via Owl Post. At the end of your experience. So this one is kicking off on November 11th. It's going to run through May 14th of 2023, and this is happening at Water Tower Place in Chicago. It's only it's looks like it's Monday, Thursdays, and Fridays from noon to 8, and then 10 to 10 on Saturdays and 10 to 8 on Sundays. And it's only going to be open on select Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So you're going to want to go to their website, which is Harry Potter Magic at Play.com. Again, for something that sounds so elaborate and interactive, tickets are reasonable.
Right.
$37.50 for adults, and $29.50 for kids 3 to 9. So they do have peak pricing around in-demand times. So tickets are going to drop for this on August 3rd for the general public. But if you are a member of the Harry Potter fan club, you get a special pre-sale the day before on August 2nd. So this is one, if I was in the Chicago area, I would definitely be checking this out.
Yes, this is definitely going to be popular. And yes, the price point is great. But I will say, I went to the New York experience, which is free, and that was so well done.
Mhm.
So if they could knock out a retail store primarily, I
Yeah.
feel like they're gonna do this justice.
Yeah, well, if you are just interested in the retail side of it, the gift shop is going to be open to non-ticketed guests. So
Ooh,
it looks like if you just want to spend money, you can
I
do
get
that for
butterbeer.
free. But if they pull off everything that they are promising, this it almost sounds like they are taking the interactivity of the wands that they have at the Wizarding
Mhm.
World at Universal up to a whole nother level. So I would definitely check that one out. This is another kind of interactive immersive game, but I'm not sure I'd check this one out because it is Squid Game Live. And if you know the popular, extremely violent, extremely gory, disturbing, dystopian Korean TV series from Netflix, well, it is coming to life from Immersive Game Box in September 2022. Yes, on the 21st of September, you can visit Gamebox in their New York City venue and become part of Squid Game.
Yes, I'm not quite sure based on these images that we've seen. It looks like you are in a room that is like a giant video screen. I'm not sure what they're doing. They say it's not a virtual reality or an augmented reality experience, but they have these kind of headsets on. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure about this.
So I actually did get to test these guys out. I think they used to have a different name. When I saw them, they were called Electric Game Box. Now they are called Immersive Game
Oh,
Box.
okay.
But they, I believe, were at IAPA a few years
Yes.
ago. And
Mhm.
so basically, you walk into what looks like a large cubicle. It's a room that's maybe 10 or 12 feet wide, square, and there are video projectors on all sides around you. And I think when I did it, I wore polarized 3D glasses, and they use head tracking to squinch the video around you. The pictures in here look like they are not wearing 3D glasses. So maybe it's just flat, but they're using squinching to create the illusion of 3D. And then it had kind of a combination of Move sensors and Xbox Connect sensors, or maybe Leap controllers. I'm not exactly
Mhm.
sure what brand, but motion sensing, so it could see your hands, and you could. I played a very basic game where I was running, sort of doing an obstacle course and trying to dodge objects while moving around. It was an interesting almost like a holodeck without the holograms.
Right.
Not as bulky as cumbersome as having a virtual reality helmet on your head. Sort of a middle ground in between VR or 3D and a flat video game. So The good news is that it looks kind of a cartoonish look, and hopefully there will not be graphic heads exploding. I don't see a machine gun built in, so that you will be playing the red light, green light game, which you will definitely remember from the first episode. But it looks like there's not an actual machine gun that will shoot you if you lose. So that's good. That's good.
See, this just makes me want to play Wii. Like, I'm getting
Right.
flashbacks to like 20 years ago and just playing Wii tennis. Like, this is
Absolutely. Yeah, I still have my Wii hooked up.
Yes,
believe it
me
or not.
too.
But yeah, so if Squid Game's a little too intense for you, you can also play Angry Birds, which is, I guess, just as violent if you're a bird.
Yes.
But at least it's just birds and pigs being destroyed, no people. This is located at 81 Essex Street in Manhattan, and you can buy tickets by going to immersivegamebox.com. So if you go and check this out, please let us know how it goes.
Please.
And next up, we got two stories involving the Seaworld family of parks, and
beer.
both of them are celebrating beer. Yes. So Busch Gardens Williamsburg is toasting the end of summer with a beer fest that is going to feature 125 different brews plus beer-infused bites every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, plus Labor Day. And that starts August 12th, and it runs through September 5th in Williamsburg, Virginia.
Yes, I think this solidified the fact that we are long overdue for a revisit here. It is
Yes.
absolutely impressive, the attention. Of course, they have to pay attention to their beer because it is such a part of their history. But the fact that they have 125 beers says a lot.
Well, I know I have talked about this before, but my very first job in the theme park industry was working in the hospitality house where they served beer
Oh.
back when there was an actual brewery there. Pouring beer for half of my shift and doing tours of the brewery for the other half of my shift. And I will tell you, we did not have beer this good back then. We
No.
were brewing, we were serving Natural Light and
Yes, I remember
Busch
going with my family.
and Bud Ice. If you folks remember Bud
Yes.
Ice, and no, they have real good craft brewers from the area: Aleworks Brewing Company, Billsburg, Virginia Beer Company, Wasserhund, Callaway's, Hoegaarden, Hofbrau, from both local and also as far away as Munich, Germany. Real quality beers, 69 of them from all around the world, including 33 locals. And you can get a lanyard, sampler lanyard, for only $4 to get a 10 sample punch card. That works out to $4 a sample, which is a great value for theme park drinking.
Right, absolutely. And I love that they extend the kind of beer theme to the food menus. There's going to be like beer battered shrimp. And of course, there has to be German pretzels. So they are promising very large pretzels. And this looks like a lot of fun. And again, I just love seeing the festivals all year round. All the theme parks around the country can take part.
Yeah, and of course, it isn't a festival without music, and they've got some local bands going on. And of course, you're probably going to want to pace yourself with the beer before you get on Pantheon, because that's their brand new roller coaster, and that one is pretty intense. I've heard fantastic things about it. So maybe don't use up your whole sample punch card before you get on that one. If you want more information about that, it is all at buschgardenswilliamsburg.com. And if you can't make it to Williamsburg, but you can head it to Orlando, SeaWorld Orlando has their own craft beer festival happening Friday, Saturday, and Sundays from August 5th through September 5th. And they've also got new beers, cocktails, and food samplers kicking off every festival day at noon.
Yes, I feel like SeaWorld is the place to drink at an Orlando theme park. They have just knocked it out of the park recently with their bar offerings. You could just go and hop around, and it is, honestly, I hate to say it, so much better than drinking at Disney right now. There's so many nooks. You could sit.
I was going to say, the tradition is drinking around the world at Epcot, but Epcot's getting expensive. It's gotten crowded. It's in a lot of ways, SeaWorld is a better bang for your beer buck.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you can sit. I feel like that is a big thing for me, especially if you're running around doing 10 miles in a park. Standing and having a beer, no. Sitting, having a beer, watching the roller coasters, watching the sharks. There is amazing spots at SeaWorld Orlando.
Yeah. So this year they've got 100 different domestic local beverages. If you like some local breweries like Ivanhoe Park, I love those guys. Crooked Can, Motorworks, Orange Blossom Brewing, they're all going to be represented. They've also got some new wine and cocktail options. So if you like a gin drink or a Tito's vodka, you've got those options. And they've got all sorts of new food sampling options. The two that caught my eye were the Oktoberfest walking taco.
Yes.
If you know the classic walking taco, the bag of Frito chips with chili and taco toppings on top. This one is made with Oktoberfest beer chili, and then if you want to top that off, boozy s'mores made with graham crackers and Hefeweizen marshmallow fluff.
That sounds
So that sounds like an amazing combination.
Yes. See, I was eyeing the burrito pork tacos. Burrito quesadillas tacos are having a moment. It's when you dip it in the consomme.
Oh, yes.
You're doing a chili broth. So instead of the traditional consomme, it sounds a little different. But I feel like bottom line is we need to go.
Yes. I'll meet you there.
Yes.
They've also got Electric Ocean going on at the exact same time. So that's like a 2-for-1. That includes all sorts of live music. And they've got a great fireworks called Ignite 360 on select nights. And it's all included in your park admission. Of course, you're going to pay extra for the food and drinks.
Right.
But you can find out more about that at SeaWorld.com/Orlando. All right. If you are hungry for some food as well as classic comedy, the Golden Girls Kitchen is opening up in Los Angeles, and they have announced a 4-city tour taking the classic 80s sitcom, turning it into a pop-up restaurant that is a fully immersive experience, paying homage to the beloved TV show.
Yes, I love it. And if you're familiar, this is the same company that did the Saved by the Bell pop-up, the Peach Pit from 90210. So you can guarantee that it's going to be done with justice.
So they are opening this in Los Angeles officially on July 30th. So that was yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
So it's open now. That, of course, July 30th, fans know as Golden Girls Day. The first one is in Beverly Hills, California. But they are going to open later this year and in 2023 in New York, Miami, San Francisco, and Chicago.
Yes, it is really cool. It definitely has that distinct South Florida feel with kind of the tones, the pinks, the greens. And so this is going to be done fast casual style. So basically you'll have a seat reservation and a guaranteed time to dine. And your order will come with a choice of entree and, of course, cheesecake.
Gotta have cheesecake. Gotta have cheesecake. Yeah, they've got Sophia's lasagna, and you can have that vegan if you want. There's a Miami-style Cuban sandwich, Blanche's Georgia-style cookie, and a bacon, lettuce, and potato sandwich.
Yeah.
Of course, you're really going for the decor and the photo ops. It looks like there's an area that looks like Blanche's bedroom. You've got those iconic, gorgeously ugly prints and patterns everywhere. You can get a photo at the classic kitchen table or on the lanai, and they even have the phrase ""Thank you for being a friend" from the theme song in neon to snap a selfie with.
Yes, I'm sure this is already all over TikTok. If you want to see videos of it, I'm sure the influencers have gone ape on this. But if you want to see it as well, it's going to be coming to New York in the fall, Miami in the winter, and San Francisco in the winter as well as Chicago next spring.
Yeah, if you want an idea what these things are like, we've got a video on our YouTube about their Saved by the Max, Saved by the Bell restaurant.
Mhm.
Um, and I I grew up watching this show. I'm a child of the 80s or 70s actually, but I remember this one, and I think this would be a lot of fun. Especially, I don't know if they have any impersonators or performers to make it interactive, but I know my friend Ginger Minge, who has been on RuPaul's Drag Race, as produces a live interactive show, a tribute to the Golden Girls,
Oh,
and
I love
would love to see them get to perform that there. All right, moving on. Marvel Studios dropped a whole ton of announcements at San Diego Comic-Con, and we have now got outlines of the next 3 phases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all the way from She-Hulk through Wakanda to Avengers and the Fantastic Four.
Yes, this was a bevy of information, to
Ooh,
say the
it
least.
was like a huge info dump from CEO Kevin Feige. And yeah, we finally have some direction. I know a lot of people who are fans have felt like we've got so much Marvel content that's come out between uh, Disney Plus and the theatrical, not really knowing where it's all going or what it's all leading up to. I felt like up until Avengers Endgame, we all kind of knew where we were headed and how it all tied together. And since then, I think a lot of us have felt like it's going in all sorts of different directions.
All over.
So now we know that it is, there is a saga being told, and it is the multiverse saga. The first half of Marvel Universe was the Infinity Stone saga, I guess.
Mhm.
And this is the multiverse saga, and it is phases 4, 5, and 6 all
Yes.
tied together, which will conclude with 2 all-new Avengers films. Avengers: The Kang Dynasty is going to come out on May 2nd, 2025. And then just a few months later, on November 7th, 2025, the multiverse saga concludes with Avengers: Secret Wars.
Yes. It is a lot. I mean, I feel like it's time, if that makes sense. I mean,
Mhm.
so many Avengers, and I don't know, this is exciting, but it's a lot, and it's hard to be a fan because you always have to be glued, like you said, to Disney Plus. It's too much.
Yeah, it's always like we're trying to pare back our spending on streaming services because we realize we have between like 6 different streaming services, and there's no way we keep up with all the shows. So we're trying to figure out what can we cut back on. And the thing is, I almost feel like professionally I have to keep Disney Plus whether I want to or not, just to keep up with it. But they parse it out. It's not like I can just binge my way through a couple and then let
No.
it sit. It's as soon as one thing ends, then a couple weeks later something else is picking up. And the next thing that's picking up in phase 4 is She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. I know this one has gotten a lot of hot takes and reactions, but I personally, the very first teaser trailer, I was a little but I really liked the new full trailer that they dropped at
Yeah.
Comic-Con.
I think it sounds like an interesting story. She's a relatable character. I'm into it. So
Yeah. So it's I apologize if I butchered the name again. Tatiana Maslany as Jennifer Walters. And she is an attorney specializing in superhuman oriented legal cases, who just happens to be related to the Hulk, who is Mark Ruffalo coming back. And also coming back is Tim Roth as the Abomination from the Universal Hulk film, which we don't really talk about because it
no.
had Ed Norton in it, and we don't talk about Ed Norton. No, no, no. But of course, Benedict Wong is coming back because basically the entire multiverse saga is really the Wong-verse saga. He's been in every key show and film for this entire phase. And we've got some other actors coming in: Jamila Jamil, Ginger Gonzaga, Josh Segarra, John Bass, and Renee Elise Goldsberry. So this one kicks off August 17th on Disney Plus, and like I said, some of the CGI still looks funky, but I am not going to criticize CGI on Marvel films anymore now that I have read about what heck, or a stronger word, the CGI artists go through on these Marvel films. Does not sound like a good career right now. So I'm not going to dog on them at all. I'm interested in seeing this one. I really ended up loving Miss Marvel, and I'm hoping I like this one just as much.
Yes, I think it's possible.
Yeah. But I got to be honest, the one thing that really I loved, that I watched multiple times after the presentation, was the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer. That trailer just blew me away. It's a piece of art. I feel like the imagery, the music, the pacing of that trailer was just perfect. And it told us absolutely nothing. Like, that's what I love. I feel like too many trailers now. I've seen the entire movie. I don't feel like I need to go and sit through it. But this one just made me excited to know what's happening, because I guess we have official confirmation that King T'Challa is dead in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they're not going to CGI him back to life, hopefully. But
we didn't want that,
No,
so I'm
no one wanted that. But the question is, who is the new Black Panther? That is the big mystery that has everyone freeze framing on like 2 seconds of butt. So
we'll find out soon.
Yes. So November 11th, 2022 is the release date for this one. And like I said, this teaser trailer is up. I assume you watched it a couple times like I did.
Yeah. And this is important to note. This is the end of phase 4.
Yes, this ends phase 4 and brings us into phase 5. Oh, I'm getting exhausted.
I even saying Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. There's a lot of quantum encounters, quantum this. So this is Quantum Mania is phase 5 now.
Which to me, as an old a classic rock fan, when I hear Quantum Mania, I hear Quadrophenia and Beatlemania.
Yes, Quadrophenia is what I think
of. But yeah, this is the return of Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne. Survived their quantum encounter on the Disney Wish, apparently.
Yes.
And to continue their adventures as Ant-Man and the Wasp. Hank Pym, Michael Douglas, and Jenna Van Dyne, Michelle Pfeiffer are back, and they had a panel with director Peyton Reed, and they gave a special look. I don't think we have any footage that we can share, but that one comes out February 17th of next year, and then Secret Invasion follows that up on Disney Plus in spring of 2023, and this is the one that brings back Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. Sam Jackson doing a TV show again instead of a feature movie. That I think that's a big deal. So it's kind of going to be a continuation of what we found out at the end of Captain Marvel, that Sam Jackson's been out in space for all this time. And I'm really curious if they're going to confirm how, like, does this go all the way back to when he was injured in that car attack in Captain America Winter Soldier, and basically the Nick Fury we've known for the last like 5 movies is the fake Nick Fury. And I guess we'll finally find out what Nick's really been up to all this time.
Yes, I'm excited also for Kobe Smulders to come
back. Maria Hill is back too. That's spring of 2023, and then that leads into Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
So much. So this is going to have Peter Quill, obviously, and he's still dealing with a loss. Won't say if you're not all caught up.
Why is Gamora? I don't know. He's got to pull the team back together, and I guess during the Q&A, director James Gunn confirmed that this is the end of his version of the Guardians of the Galaxy, that he's wrapping up this trilogy, and that's the end. I know that other cast members have said that they're moving on too. So I really love, these were characters that I knew nothing about whatsoever before the first film, and they've become probably my favorites in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So
they're just so lovable, relatable. I mean,
mhm. Yeah, so if you were there at San Diego Comic-Con, you got to see a little Q&A. Chris Pratt and some other cast members were there, and we found out that the High Evolutionary, which is a character obviously I need to learn more about, is going to appear in the film.
Right, and that is again spring 2023. So there's
Yeah,
a lot
May 5th. May
Yeah.
5th. So we got a lot coming in, but no, folks, that is not all. We got a huge dump of Phase 5 titles, which is going to include Echo, Loki Season 2, Ironheart, Agatha, which has been renamed Coven of Chaos, The Marvels, which is going to combine Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and I believe Monica Rambeau from WandaVision, and also Blade. This is all happening on Disney Plus and in theaters between summer of 2023 and November of 2023. And I feel like an infomercial, like,
Right.
wait, but that's not all. There's one more thing. If you order now, you will also get Captain America New World Order, starring the new Captain America,
Yes.
happening on May 3rd, 2024. Daredevil Born Again, that is with Charlie Cox, yay, and Vincent D'Onofrio, back on Disney Plus in 2024. And The Thunderbolts, coming to theaters in July 26th of 2024.
Ooh.
And I need to take a big deep breath and inhale while you tell folks that yes, we've also got Phase 6 information.
Yes.
And
So
if you've checked out by now, I don't blame you.
Yes, there is a lot. I feel
oh
like
my gosh.
The moral of the story is now might be a good time to purchase an AMC loyalty membership card because I still miss Movie Pass, so I guess I'm gonna have to switch to the AMC or the Regal. But basically, if you are a Marvel fan, you will be in the cinema a lot.
A lot.
And then this brings us to Phase 6. So this is going to be Fantastic Four, and this will be a theatrical release coming in November 8th, 2024. So basically, you're going to have to go to attractionsmagazine.com and read all of this to let it kind of stew in, because it is a lot of information.
Yeah. Marvel.com, I think they've got a timeline up on there. And I would not be surprised if we hear more about all of these over and over and over again for the next 2.5 years.
Yes.
And no, folks, they did not announce any casting for Fantastic Four, so we don't know if John Krasinski is going to be back as Reed Richards, or if that was only in the alternate multiverse. So we'll see, but gosh, I feel like we could probably do a full-time podcast just on Marvel announcements.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So this is my chance to take one last deep breath before we launch into our main attraction.
It's time for the main attraction.
And our main attraction is that Disney parks have announced their plans for the D23 Expo, which is now totally sold out.
Yes, this is exciting. I will be there. Again, this takes place in Anaheim, right across the street from basically the Disneyland Resort. And they made a major announcement this week, which revealed a whole bunch of amazing panels that are going to be coming to the Expo across its 3 days. They're calling it the Wonderful World of Dreams Pavilion. And a part of this, they are going to give behind-the-scenes glimpses of Tiana's Bayou adventure. There's going to be a lot of Epcot stuff they're teasing. So I don't know if we're going to learn more about the transformation. Fingers crossed, they've re-announced the Mary Poppins attraction that was supposed to happen in the United Kingdom. We don't know yet, but this should be exciting. I personally am excited to see these Disney Me Expo Quest. So this is kind of a virtual thing. We got to test a little bit of it on the Disney Wish as part of this Uncharted adventure that is an interactive game. And here we are going to be the first to access this Disney Me, which is basically a digital avatar that's in the Play Disney Parks app.
Yeah, it looks like it's a customizable avatar that you will be able to dress up. My hope is that this will be not an upcharge, that you will be able to earn your hats and your lightsabers as opposed to just having to buy them outright.
I don't know if I'd place a bet on that right now.
Yeah. And if please don't let them be NFTs. If this becomes an NFT thing, then I might have a little ranting to do.
No.
But it will be because right now, in my Disney experience, you can pick an avatar that's just basically one of a few dozen characters. I use Kermit for mine. But it would be cool. I was one of those people that on my on my Wii, I had a me that was customized to look just like me, and I have one on my Facebook Oculus Meta Quest, whatever you want to call it. So it would be neat to have one in my Disney app too.
Yes, but when I hear digital clothing and accessories, I'm thinking charge.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm sure, but that's the kind of thing, those kind of microtransaction payments for purely cosmetic stuff. It's like crack to little kids. It's like please, mommy, just buy me another
Animal
token.
Crossing expansion pack. Yes, but the good news is there is amazing panels. So whatever about the Expo Quest, we'll play with it. Maybe we'll find out if it charges. But I am excited for the C panel, which is going to be the first day.
Oh yeah. So the first day they are having a panel on September 9th about the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, and hardcore Disney fans kind of know this as something that started with Tokyo Disney Sea, but has woven together attractions in parks all over the world now. It's this great kind of Easter egg, whole another layer beyond Hidden Mickeys, and they are going to dive into that with the Disney Imagineers, and also Julie Kagawa, who has written books in a series of novels that are going to tie all this lore together. That's a great one. I would love to be there for the peek into the special effects development lab of Walt Disney Imagineering, with a look at some of the classic illusions that Yale Gracie came up with for the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, yes. That looks amazing. And of course, Marty, I'm so happy that you're honoring him. This is going to be an exciting one. That's also on my list, which I'm starting to kind of make based on what we're seeing. And his wife and daughter are going to be on hand, which is going to be so special. And they're going to show stuff from his private collection. So that's 5 decades in Imagineering. So I can't even imagine what they are going to show.
Yeah, and Marty Scalaro is one of those fundamental people to the birth of Walt Disney World and Disneyland. Before that, started working at Disney almost from day one, and it's great that they're celebrating his legacy. There's going to be a look at the Disney Wish, which you are very familiar with.
I'll not be going to that.
Yeah, another panel on 70 years of Imagineering, and a program on the Disney Ambassador program.
Yes,
those Disney ambassadors have been around for across the decades, and they're going to have a Disney ambassador from 1966 and one from 1971.
Right. I feel like that's so cool that they're doing that because, a lot of casual fans don't even realize about the Disney Ambassador program. And it's such an important and exciting part, especially for cast members. each year when they do that big reveal. So I'm excited about that.
Now I know on September 11th, the headliner is Josh Tomorrow talking about the future of parks. That
Right.
I'm sure some people are excited about that, but I bet there is something on September 11th that you are even more excited about.
Yes, the world of Duffy and revealed. So there is going to be a whole panel, yes, a whole panel discussing the origin of Duffy and Friends and obviously its super popularity overseas. But will we see a return to the States? That is what we're hoping for. It could be overthinking it. So Disney, the Duffy the Disney Bear was introduced in America, but everyone forgets that.
Mhm.
So we shall see if they make any sort of announcement that he is coming back with his crew.
That would be a great time
Mhm.
to reintroduce him and uh Lena Bell, the Fox, if nothing else, to at least bring the costumes over for the event only, and have them at least come out on stage in person. That would be amazing.
Yes, that would be
Well, all of these incredible things you are going to get to see in person. I will not, because the event is now totally sold out, even the last day. But if you head over to D23Expo.com, look for information about D23 Expo Live, because they are going to live stream a lot of this stuff for D23 members.
absolutely.
So yeah, I will be sitting on my couch watching it on the stream, and I will be jealous of you because you're going to get all sorts of swag. Or at
Ooh.
least they're going to promise you all sorts of swag. Personally, I am still waiting for that Amazon Alexa show that Josh Tomorrow promised
yes, from
me.
last fall.
Oh, last fall. Still waiting, Josh.
Yeah, hey Josh.
All right. Well, that is going to bring us to the end of yet another episode. Thank you all for sticking with us for a bonus-sized episode. We had a lot to talk about between your trip to Paris and my MagicBand experience, and then all the stuff happening this week. But before we go, I do want to thank you and remind everyone to please give us a review on Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating on Spotify. It really helps us get the word out. If you want more coverage from us and Attractions Magazine on the interwebs, you can always find me at the UG Series on Twitter, at the Unofficial Guides on Instagram, and at theunofficialguides.com. Carly, where can folks find you?
Yes, I am on Twitter at Carly Caramana and on Instagram at Adventures by Carly.
And of course, attractionsmagazine.com is always there with all of the articles that we talked about this week. Plus, we are on Twitter at Attractions Magazine on Instagram, and at youtube.com/attractionsmagazine. And until next week, I hope that all of you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun, and we will see you again next time.
Yes, see you next
Bye.
week.